Hello viewers, welcome to Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Today we have a 2017 Chevy Equinox. The customer complaint on this vehicle is the check engine light remains on the dash while the engine is running. The owner of this vehicle is one of our subscribers here on our YouTube channel. So thank you for bringing business to us. He's actually sitting in the waiting area right now. Unfortunately, he told me, I guess it's not unfortunate, it's pretty fortunate. The check engine light is not on right now. He said the check engine light is not remaining on, but every once in a while it comes on. So what we do is when we receive a vehicle, even when a vehicle is here for a check engine light diagnosis, we always inspect it. So my man Gavin here just inspected this car, right?
All the way through.
Any red flags? Did you see any red flags on this?
Just a few.
Just a few?
Yeah.
Name one.
Brake pads.
Brake pads, rear, or front?
Codes popped up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Have codes.
awesome. So Gavin is learning very fast. He's becoming our inspection specialist here. He's doing a lot of inspections and he's doing a great job. He's finding a lot of stuff when he's inspecting them. I mean, our goal is to fix vehicles, but also to prevent breakdowns. So we let the customers know about the total health of their vehicles so that they don't break down while they're driving down the road. Now, the customer doesn't have to do everything that we recommend, but we present everything to the customer that we find. So we take pictures, right? You attach pictures to the inspection report, and then we present them to the customer. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start the engine. The check engine light is not on right now. We are going to scan it to see what codes we have, and then we'll go from there. Behind the camera, we have our famous cameraman, Matt. Matt, thanks for being here. So Gavin, if you can go in the vehicle and turn the key on for me. I have the scan tool dongle connected. I'm gonna grab the scan tool. Let's see what codes we have, and then I'm gonna be here under the hood. I'll just do the test here. Now, the customer is very knowledgeable about his own car. He told me what was done to the vehicle. There were some components that were replaced. Actually, one of the components is right here. Matt, if you can show everyone. You see this mass airflow sensor? How does that look like to you, Matt? Looks new, right? It looks like that mass airflow sensor was changed. So right here, Matt. They changed the mass airflow sensor, trying to fix the issue. All right, so is the key on, Gavin? Not fixed, so we'll see what we have. All right, so let's scan the engine computer. You guys will see this on the screen. The scan tool has identified the vehicle. Guys, actually, I'm very excited because I was going through our YouTube studio last night. I was looking at how our channel is doing. Our views are up. Our subscriber numbers are up. So thank you very much for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Actually, I believe by tomorrow, we will hit 100,000 subscribers. So I'm very excited. We're probably gonna do a giveaway. So give me some suggestions. Let me know what we should do, what we should give away. So I'm still thinking about it. My team and I will figure out what we can do. What do you think we should do, Matt? What should we give away to our members that have been supporting us for years? No? Okay, Matt doesn't know. Okay, we'll come up with something. We'll let you guys know. Stay tuned. Maybe on our first live stream here at the new shop, maybe we'll give away some stuff, or I'll think about it. All right, so the scan tool has identified the vehicle. We're gonna click OK. I'm gonna do a code scan. Let's scan all the control units on the vehicle and see what we have. We're cruising, Steve. We're cruising. So Gavin just finished the inspection. Okay. I think he sent you the report.
He did.
Okay.
And he's going over the pictures right now.
He's looking at the pictures right now?
Cabin air filter, and he was like, oh yeah, we might need to change
that. Yeah, we might need to change that. So we can call Napa and see if they have it. So it is actually right there. There's one code in the engine computer, P0171.
The dev code.
Yeah, and we're very familiar with this, so I should be able to go through this pretty fast. I'm gonna finish diagnosing this, I don't know. Maybe it's a fuel pressure problem or vacuum leak or whatever. I'll figure out in a little bit. And then I'll let you know so we can keep cruising.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. All right, so right there, this is the code we have. We have one code in the engine computer, P0171. Fuel, it says fuel trim system 2 lean. So An engine runs lean when it runs with too much air and less fuel. And that can be caused by a vacuum leak, low fuel pressure, or partially clogged fuel injectors, or a defective mass airflow sensor. So we need to do some tests to figure out why. And we have to look at the data. Usually what I like to look at when I have a P0171 code, I like to look at fuel trim numbers. You guys have seen me do this here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, before we go in the engine computer, let me scroll down and see what we have. I'm gonna notify the customer about these other codes. We have one code in the airbag control unit and another code in the BCM. And then on the generic side of the tool, we have the same code, P0171. Again, we've dealt with this code here so many times. So let's go to data. Actually, let's check out the code again. So same code in the engine computer, because sometimes there are times where when you go in the engine computer, then you see more codes. So let's go to data. Let's go to fuel trim data. So right now what I want to do is I want to look at my O2 sensor data PIDs and my fuel trim data PIDs. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to look at this on the generic side of the scan tool. I mean, I can go back because I also want to look at my engine speed and then my engine temperature data PID. Oh, actually, we can look at it from this data group. Let me customize this list. So let's grab our engine speed, engine temperature sensor, data PID, mass airflow sensor, both O2 sensor data PIDs, short term and long term. I would like to look at loop status too. So let's look at fuel pressure and fuel rail pressure. The train is passing by. Can you hear it? It's pretty loud. All right, so we don't have loop status here, but let's see. All right, go ahead and start it, Gavin. So right now what I'm looking for is at idle, our total trim. So I'm gonna focus on my fuel trim numbers. Our fuel trim numbers should be a total of 10% plus or minus. This thing is shaking a little bit. Can you show the engine, Matt? The engine is shaking a little bit. Actually, now it's smooth now. Our numbers seem fine right now. Okay, right now I don't see a problem right now. Turn off the engine, turn the key on, keep the key on. Let me look at freeze frame data. Let me see if I can figure out what data that the computer was receiving when this code was set. Let's go to freeze frame. Okay, right here. Because if the code set while the vehicle was being driven and if the engine was hot, we may not be able to duplicate the issue while we have it here in the shop. We might have to go drive it to duplicate those conditions so that we can see the fault with the scan tool. So here's what happened. Here's what the computer saw when this code was set. And freeze frame data is basically a screenshot of all the data PIDs that the engine computer takes when the code's set. So I'm looking at engine speed. So this code set when the engine speed was at 903 RPMs. Engine temperature was 188. So operating temperature basically, and the engine was at idle. The engine was idling. And then let's look at our trim numbers. So long-term fuel trim was 38%. That's high, really high. And then short-term fuel trim was 6%. And then fuel rail pressure PSI was 420 PSI. That's low. Our rail PSI should have been higher than this. So the fuel rail pressure sensor PSI, fuel rail pressure sensor data PID was 420 PSI, which is, this number seems low. It should have been higher than this. Now, there's a possibility that we might have a failing high pressure fuel pump, or failing primary fuel pump in the tank. So let me see if there is a desired fuel pressure data pit here. Fuel rail pressure. Because if there is a desired data pit, we can compare it to the actual data pit. So we can compare desired versus actual. And then vehicle speed was 0. So this code set while the vehicle was stationary at idle, and the engine temperature was at 188. Okay, so it looks like we can duplicate this while we have the vehicle here on the lift. And then the mass airflow sensor data pit was 2.13 grams per second. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go, let's go to the generic side. Generic side of the scan tool. Sometimes it's a lot easier to look at the data from the generic side. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go through this pretty fast because I gotta move on to the next vehicle over there. I gotta go give Robin a hand, so let's figure this out and then we're gonna go. So let's look at the code. So same code, P0171. Now let's go to data. I'm just gonna look at a couple data pits that will be helpful for me to figure out the issue. We're gonna customize the list. Let's grab our engine speed data pit, fuel system, mass airflow sensor, short-term and long-term fuel trim, O2 sensor data pits, fuel rail data pits. What else? So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, go ahead and start the engine, Gavin. So let's watch our fuel trim. So we are in open loop right now. So let's wait until the system goes into closed loop. It might take a few seconds. So right there, we went into closed loop. Our long term is 3.9%. Short term is going between minus 0.1, minus 1.4 and 3%. So our long term is increasing. Now, I said this earlier, I'm gonna say this again. On a good running engine, our total trim, so short term plus long term, should be plus or minus 10%. Anything above that or below that is a problem. Based on what we saw on the freeze frame, since we had high positive numbers on the long-term fuel trim, we might have either a vacuum leak or a fuel delivery problem. Okay, rev it. Okay, so when you rev it, our number goes down. Okay, let's see if we have a vacuum leak or a fuel delivery problem. So, Gavin, rev up the engine. Keep the engine RPMs around 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs. Let's see. So Gavin is keeping the engine RPMs around 3,000 RPMs. Right now at 3,000 RPMs, our total trim is about 5%. Okay, so long term plus short term. Our rail pressure is 800 psi. Let off. So at high RPMs, our fuel trim numbers seem to be fine. That's so weird. I don't see a problem right now. So whatever that's happening could be intermittent. Do we have a vacuum leak? Okay, let's drive this engine lean. Gavin is gonna pump the brakes. Let's see how quickly the O2 sensors can respond and the fuel trim numbers. Pump the brakes, Gavin. Yeah, just pump the brakes. So we're gonna drive this lean by pumping the brakes. So our O2 sensors are responding, and then our fuel, look at the short term. Short term went high. So the fact that our O2 sensors went lean, this tells me that the O2 sensors are responding to the oxygen content change in the exhaust stream, so that's good. Let off. Yeah, so we were able to drive the engine lean, and we can see the difference here. So our O2 sensors are fine. Right now at idle, everything seems fine. It's not acting up right now. No wonder the light is not on. So what should we do? Give it back to the customer and tell him to bring it back when it acts up? Because right now the numbers, I mean, we can already rule out potential defective O2 sensors. The O2 sensors are fine because they are responding to the oxygen change in the oxygen content change in the exhaust stream. Rev it up again, Gavin. Yeah, go up to 3,000. Okay, what's the engine temperature right now? Let me grab the engine temperature. So this code was set at 188. Engine temperature is 174. Let's get the engine temperature up to 188. Keep going, keep it up. These O2 sensors are working very well. So 183. I'm looking at our engine temperature sensor data feed right now. Okay. So engine temperature is 188. Now we are back at idle. Let's watch these numbers again at idle. So long term is 7%, short term is going between minus 2.2 and 0. So the fuel trim numbers, we are within the plus or minus 10%. Huh. I mean, we might be dealing with an intermittent issue here. And intermittent issues are some of the worst issues to deal with. Okay, turn it off, Gavin. All right, keep the key on. Here's what we're gonna do. I mean, right now our fuel trim numbers seem okay. I mean, everything seems fine. So let's look at our freeze frame again. So because since this code was set at idle, engine temperature was 188. We got the engine temperature at 188 too, but the numbers are not lining up. So based on what I have here on my freeze frame, so this was set when the engine RPMs was at 903. This was in closed loop right here. Long term was 38.3, and then short term was 6%. So, I mean, what I'm gonna do now is, this was set basically at idle. We're gonna vacuum the induction system to see if there's a vacuum leak somewhere, because high positive numbers at idle usually means a vacuum leak or a fuel delivery problem, but mostly a vacuum leak. Because if you have a fuel delivery problem, if you raise up the engine, your fuel trim numbers will get worse at high RPMs. And when we raise up the engine on this one right now, our fuel trim numbers are not getting worse. So we most likely don't have a fuel delivery problem. Let's smoke the induction system. If we don't find a leak, we're gonna give the vehicle back to the customer. We're gonna tell him to drive it again. Hopefully whatever that's happening is gonna get worse, and then he's gonna have to bring it back so we can test it again, because this could be an intermittent issue. So Gavin, let's do one more thing. Before you come out here, you will set up the smoke machine for us. Let's look at the data again, but this time I want you to rev up the engine just slightly, like around 900 RPMs, to see if I'm gonna see something that's gonna draw my attention here. So start the engine. Let me graph our long-term, short-term.
900.
It's sitting at 900. Oh yeah, we are at 900 right now. Yeah, I can see it on the scan tool. Okay. Yeah, engine RPMs is sitting at 900 RPMs. Our fuel trim numbers are fine. Okay, turn it off, Gavin. Yeah, we gotta keep going. Leave the key on. No, actually, you know what? Turn the key off. We're done. So here's what I'm gonna do. Gavin is gonna bring out our smoke machine. We're gonna get the smoke machine connected to the intake manifold. We're gonna smoke it. Based on the numbers I had on the freeze frame, the numbers recommend a vacuum leak. Now, I've seen intake manifold gaskets leak when the engine is cold, and then when the engine gets warm, the gasket expands and then it starts to seal, then the leak disappears. So if we don't find a vacuum leak, right now I don't see a problem. All the data on the scan tool look fine. We'll give it back to the customer and then he's gonna have to bring it back. So we're gonna get the smoke machine set up and then I'll bring you guys back up. We got the smoke machine set up, it's on. So can you see the ball over here? See how when I block this, it goes down? Okay, so that's what we should see. And I also blocked the tube that goes to the air filter box so it doesn't leak over here. So I'm gonna introduce smoke into the intake manifold by using the brake booster hose. I just removed this check valve off camera. So we're gonna connect this over here. So we're gonna observe. Oh. Oops. Well, that's a good thing. If it's coming out this way, that's fine. So it means there are no leaks around here. I don't think we're gonna have a vacuum leak because if we had a vacuum leak, our fuel trim numbers were gonna be worse at idle. Let me look at this check ball. Is it dropping? Yeah. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's dropping because we don't have a leak. So that's a good thing. Now my question to you guys is, what do you tell the customer? Because we can't see the issue right now.
What did they come in and say?
The customer's complaint was check engine light on. So whatever that happened that caused the check engine light to come on, so there was an issue at some point, but it's no longer there. So it's an intermittent problem. So right now, so let's call Steve. Let's tell Steve, our service advisor. I'm gonna tell Steve what we found, and then Steve can explain this to the customer. So Gavin, can you go grab Steve? It's not leaking. Our fuel pressure is good because if we had a fuel delivery problem or fuel pressure problem, our fuel trim numbers were gonna go way high. And when I brought the vehicle in the shop, check engine light is not on right now. And the customer told me that the check engine light was on at some point. It went off by itself. Now it's not on. So he's gonna have to, yeah, look at that. Yeah, so actually our check ball is dropping even further. See that? So that's good. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'm holding this. All right, so Steve, here's what we got here. We're using a smoke machine right now just to check to see if there's a vacuum leak. You see how this check ball is dropping? Yeah. So there are no leaks, okay, which is a good thing. I looked at the fuel trim numbers, we revved it up, we looked at them at idle. We don't see a problem. Okay. So our fuel trim numbers are fine. So whatever that's caused the P0171 code to be set is probably an intermittent issue because right now it's fine. Like everything, the data, everything checks out fine. So what I'm gonna recommend is, the cabin air filter was very dirty. You said the inspection, Gavin said the brakes, right? Rear brakes. Rear brakes are worn out. Let's do an estimate for rear brakes and then cabin air filter, and that's it. Now about the check engine light, he's gonna have to drive it
and see what happens.
If the light comes back, then he can bring it back so we can figure out then. Because right now, it's not acting up.
Yeah, I don't see any smoke coming out.
Yeah, so there are no leaks, nothing. And the check ball is, yeah, so the check ball is dropping, which is good. So let me just turn this off. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, there are no issues right now. I've seen intake manifold gaskets leak when the engine is cold, and then when the engine warms up, the gasket expands and then it seals. Okay. So that's probably what's happening. But even when we started testing it, the engine was fairly cold. And we just got it warmed up now. It's still not leaking. So yeah, I mean, I don't see what I'm gonna recommend on this one. He's gonna have to bring it back. Yeah, he's gonna have to drive it more and then bring it back. And also, we don't have a fuel delivery problem, because if it was like, let's say, low fuel pressure, our fuel trim numbers are gonna be even higher, you know, at like higher RPMs. Yeah, so tell him we checked it. You know, on the check engine light side, there was a lean code, but right now that condition is not there. So he's gonna have to drive it until it comes back. And then when it comes back, he can just bring it back so we can check it. So you can make an estimate for rear brakes. I will lift it again just to do a quick once over under the car, and then we should be good.
All right, I'll let him know.
Okay.
Thanks, Dio.
Thank you. That's it. We're gonna leave this right over here. My man Gavin, thank you for your help. Good job, buddy. We're gonna leave this right over here. I don't know what I'm gonna recommend. We're gonna give this back to the customer. So Gavin, can you go ahead and put this back? Yeah, so he's gonna have to drive it until the check engine light stays on constantly on the dash, and then he will bring it back. So we're gonna leave this right over here. Be on the lookout for part 2. Maybe there will be part 2. If not, we will let you guys know either in the comments, in the description box, or maybe here in the video. We're gonna tell you how this is gonna go, what the customer is gonna decide. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, but we will let you guys know. So thanks for being here. If you are a subscriber coming back to watch this, I appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Cameraman Matt, thanks for being behind the camera. See you guys next time.